Hello! You are listening to Second Shot by Trevor Shelby. Copyright Trevor Shelby. Make sure to subscribe, and when we get new episodes, you'll be the first to know.
Chapter 2. Citations Needed. There's something deeply personal about reading teenagers' interpretations of Romeo and Juliet at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Like performing an autopsy on your own romantic history while drinking coffee that's one microwave reheat away from becoming motor oil. I circle another cringeworthy line in red. Their love was destiny, something stronger than life or death itself. Oh, honey. My pen hovers over the margin, searching for a diplomatic way to say your hormones are not a prophecy. These kids write about love like it's some mystical force that transcends reality instead of what it really is. A series of choices that either break your heart or bore you to death. Sometimes both, if you are especially lucky. The coffee's gone cold again, third time this morning. My kitchen's starting to look like a graveyard of abandoned mugs, which feels appropriately symbolic for someone spending their weekend grading papers about star-crossed lovers. I reach for the nearest cup, grimacing at the bitter dregs. The silent house amplifies every small sound. The scratch of my pen, the hollow ceramic thunk of mug against wood, the steady tick of the clock that reminds me I've been at this for hours. True love means never having to. Jesus Christ. I actually groan out loud, the sound echoing off my kitchen cabinets. Who let these kids watch Love Story? I'm going to have words with the Film Appreciation Club about their movie choices. My red pen is getting a workout today. Usually, I try to be gentle with their romantic delusions. God knows I had enough of my own at 16. But there's something about reading essay after essay about undying teenage passion that makes me want to write citation needed across every sweeping declaration of eternal devotion. A flash of memory ambushes me. Messy blue handwriting in the margins of my own English homework. Practice makes perfect, Charlie girl. The way he'd lean over my shoulder in that booth at Henderson's, supposedly helping me with Shakespeare, but really just using any excuse to get closer. His breath warm against my ear as he'd whisper the most ridiculous interpretations just to make me laugh. Nope. Not doing this. Not today. I attack the next essay with renewed vigor as if I can edit away 15 years of carefully suppressed memories through sheer force of will. Focus on the work, Charlie. These papers aren't going to grade themselves, and you promised Jake you'd make it to his afternoon practice. Jake, my son, my reality check, my living, breathing reminder that some of us have to grow up and face real life while others get to, no, back to Romeo and Juliet. Back to teenagers who think love is something that happens to you instead of something you do, something you choose, something you fight for or don't. I'm halfway through explaining why yonder doesn't mean what this particular student thinks it means when the front door bangs open with the force of a hormone-fueled hurricane. Mom, you're never gonna... He trips over his own equipment bag, catches himself on the counter, and keeps talking without missing a beat. Pure Jake. You're never going to believe who's back. My pen freezes mid-sentence. Something in his tone, that breathless excitement, that edge of awe makes my stomach drop. Please, no, not today. Not when I'm literally grading essays about doomed romance like some cosmic joke. Tommy said his dad saw him at the store this morning. Jake's practically vibrating, words tumbling out faster than his brain can organize them. His truck was there and everything, that old blue one. You know, from all the pictures? Pictures. Right. Because that's all they are to Jake. Just pictures. Ancient history preserved in yearbooks and newspaper clippings, safely divorced from reality. From me. If he only knew about the box I kept in the closet, he had no idea. Who, honey? I manage to keep my voice steady, even as my fingers clench around my pen hard enough to leave indents in my palm. But I know. God help me. I know exactly who he is because there's only one he that could put that particular look of hero worship on my son's face. Wyatt Reynolds. Jake's grin threatens to split his face in half. Cowboy's back. And get this, Mrs. Henderson told Tommy's mom he was asking about the old ranch a while back. You know, the one his family used to own? People are saying he might be moving back. The universe, I decide in that moment, has a particularly twisted sense of humor. Here I am, drowning in teenage declarations of undying love, while my son unknowingly drops a nuclear bomb in our kitchen. Is it true he used to be like the best player Lake Haven ever had before he went pro? Jake's bouncing on the balls of his feet now, reminding me so much of another eager hockey player from 15 years ago that it physically hurts. Tommy said his dad said he could stick handle through the entire opposing team blindfolded. He could. I watched him do it at practice once, on a dare. Won himself $20 and a concussion, because your hero never could resist showing off. But I don't say that. Instead, I force a smile that feels like it might shatter my face. People tend to exaggerate about high school sports, honey. Yeah, but then he went to the NHL. He's like a real legend. Jake drops his gear bag with a thud that makes me wince. Did you know him? When he played here, I mean. You must have, right? You were in high school together. Know him? I knew every inch of him. Knew the way his laugh felt against my neck, the way his hands could map constellations on my skin, the exact shade of his eyes in morning light. Knew the weight of promises neither of us was old enough to keep. We had some classes together, I say instead, because what else can I say? How do you tell your son that his hockey hero used to write poetry in the margins of your calculus notes? That the man whose highlight reels he watches on YouTube once swore he'd come back for you? That you still sometimes wake up reaching for someone who chose Calgary over forever? My coffee cup trembles slightly as I lift it, buying time. The liquid inside has gone beyond cold to that special temperature that tastes like regret and lost opportunities. Kind of fitting, really. He was everything, nothing, a chapter I never properly closed. Dedicated to hockey, very focused. I could see something in Jake's eyes, as if he knew I wasn't telling him the whole truth, but accepted it because that was somehow easier. But was he really that good? Jake's voice snaps me back to the present, where my pen is leaving deep indents in this poor kid's essay about Romeo's tragic flaws. Oh, honey, you have no idea. He was talented. The understatement tastes bitter on my tongue. Natural athlete. The last time I saw him was on TV. Game 7, second period. I shouldn't have been watching, had papers to grade, a life to live, but there he was, larger than life on my screen. Then the hit, the fall, the way he didn't get up. I heard he dated some model in Calgary. Jake continues, oblivious to the way each word lands like a body check. This really gorgeous actress or something? Trent's sister follows her on Instagram. Veronica. My throat closes around memories of magazine covers, red carpet photos, that perfect smile that probably never needed orthodontic intervention in 10th grade. Oh my God, Mom! Jake suddenly sits bolt upright, face lighting up with the kind of revelation that makes my maternal instincts scream danger. What if he helps coach the team? Now that Coach Henderson quit, he'd be perfect. Can you imagine? The universe, I decide, isn't just cruel, it's downright sadistic. Honey, I'm sure Mr. Reynolds has other commitments. My voice sounds strange, distant, like it's coming from someone else entirely. Someone who didn't once know exactly how his name felt on her lips in the dark. But it would be so awesome. Jake's practically bouncing now. A real NHL player, and he's from here. He'd understand what it's like, playing in a small town, dreaming big. Oh, he understood dreaming big, all right. Understood it right out of town, out of state, out of my life. The essay in front of me swims into focus. Some poor sophomore's analysis of Romeo's fatal flaws stares back at me, red ink bleeding across their earnest defense of young love's nobility. I've never felt more called out by a homework assignment in my life. Anyway, Jake continues, scrolling through his phone with the kind of intense focus only teenagers can muster. Tommy says Veronica Grant did this whole interview about their relationship for some podcast. She's like, crazy successful now, has her own lifestyle brand and everything. Lifestyle brand. The words settle in my stomach like cold lead. Meanwhile, I have a lifestyle bland, grading papers on Saturday mornings, buying generic coffee because the good stuff's too expensive, and wondering if my son's old hockey gear can survive one more season. Jake continues because he has no idea what this is doing to me. On the podcast, she said they were taking a break, but Cowboy can't quit her. Whatever that means. He says, looking at his phone, no doubt looking for more horrible quotes. Jake looks up from his phone, his expression bright with that uniquely teenage mix of excitement and obliviousness. I gotta call Tommy back and text Coach Martinez. You think Mr. Reynolds, might come to our next practice? That would be so sick. He's out of his chair and halfway up the stairs before I can formulate a response, leaving me alone with cold coffee and the ghost of what ifs. My phone buzzes. Then again. And again. Did you hear? OMG, Charlie, have you seen who's back? Girl, you okay? Just heard about Cowboy. I push back from the table. Essays forgotten. My feet carry me to the hall closet, the one I never let Jake rummage through, claiming it's full of old teaching supplies. Behind a stack of truly ancient AP prep books, there's a shoebox. I shouldn't. I really, really shouldn't. But my hands are already lifting the lid, finding that familiar newspaper clipping. Local hero makes NHL debut. His smile hasn't changed, even in newsprint. Same dangerous curve, same promise of trouble. Some of us traded homework for hockey lessons, I think, tracing his features through the yellowed paper. And some of us traded small-town sweethearts for supermodels. The sound of Jake's excited voice drifts down from upstairs, punctuated by what sounds like hockey gear being frantically reorganized, probably planning his big impression for the returning hometown hero. I carefully replace the lid on the shoebox, on the past, on everything I've spent 15 years trying not to think about. Tomorrow, I'll be Charlie Brooks, competent teacher, dedicated mother, master of moving forward. But right now I'm just Charlie, 17 and stupid again, wondering if his truck still smells like pine trees. And possibilities. Damn you, Wyatt Reynolds. Damn you and your blue truck and your perfect ex and every promise you never kept. My phone buzzes again. Lila this time. You sitting down? Because, girl, we need to talk. I look at my abandoned essays, all those teenagers waxing poetic about tragic love and destiny. Yeah, I whisper to my empty kitchen, to the ghost of a boy in a blue truck, to 15 years of carefully constructed distance. Destiny's a bitch like that.